Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pod of War podcast. I am your host, Hugo Gizmo, in the bedroom today because banishment, and I'm joined by Mass of Das, Chris McGilly.
I'm Mass, and I'm awesome. Neither of you get it.
Yeah, I know he won the title, didn't he? And
Yeah.
the Lankster, Xbox Live's own TW Yankee. How's it going, Craig?
I'm very good. How are you, Dave?
I'm awesome. Haha, the Miz, yeah, whatever. Don't watch WWE anymore, so don't know, don't care. So guys, how's it going? We're in for another week. We're still in lockdown at the minute. Boris will tell us some more stuff today, apparently, so that's exciting. So we filmed this on
We
Monday.
could be free.
We could be free in a few months to then go back in lockdown a few months after that. It's a lovely day outside anyway, boys, so that's something. So we start this year, as we do every week, with what people have been playing, what they've bought, what they've picked up on the Critic. We'll do the Critic last. I think it's only one pickup anyway this week, right? So,
Yeah.
So Craig, what have you been playing this week?
So compared to my last week where it was endless stuff, this week is just more Jedi Fallen Order.
How are you finding it now?
Lots more of that. So some of the Dark Soulsiness does annoy me, I'll be honest, but overall I think it is very good.
Good.
I think the main thing that annoys me is like not having checkpoints. The amount of times I'd be doing like a little like mini boss fight or something like that, and you walk for 5 minutes to get there, and then he kicks your ass and you're dead, and you're like, oh, that's annoying. I'll start that again, and you've got to walk 5 minutes back. I think that's probably my main gripe of it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, other than that, the actual combat and that isn't too bad.
No.
It's not too hard. I'm not playing on like real easy mode. I'm playing on just above real easy mode. Right. So I feel I'm dying, but not repeatedly to the point where I'm just giving up. So that's good. But yeah, no, overall I'm liking it. The actual the different planets are really cool. I think I'm actually quite near the end now.
Yeah.
So I've just to give you some context, I've just gone back to Dathomir the second time.
Yeah, you're pretty
I have the MacGuffin now, and I'm going back to the vault.
You might be, if you do the extra thing that I did, which you should do, I think you're probably like 5 hours away, maybe 6.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do as much of it as I can. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to do like stuff like collectibles because it doesn't seem to be any fast travel system, or if there is, I've missed that the whole time. So I'm not like some of the
travel between they're not bonfires, but the bonfire type.
Yeah, the points. I think you can. I can't remember actually. I haven't played it for like a year now, but
Mate, is that something you unlock after you finish it or something like that?
I don't know, but I'm sure you could
try it when you go on later.
That might just be.
This sounds like something you might unlock, like post rolling the credits or something like that.
Possibly.
The last level is great as well, so I'm looking forward to you telling me all about that. Last boss is hard though, so you should get ready for that.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
I really like the. I'm trying to think what I've just done. I've just done the ice planet, the volcano ice planet. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, you get. I think I prefer the crystal planet, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I prefer the more like puzzly, platformy like planets. I really liked the second half of Kashyyyk, if you guys remember that, where you have the big like cinematic platform bit where you're sliding and jumping or wall running, and you got the big bird flying around. But yeah, no, it's decent to be fair. Obviously, the music's great, which is I think that's like one of the laws of physics in the planet.
Yeah,
and if
the John Williams
doing anything to do with Star Wars,
you
have to. Yeah, you have to have good music. But yeah, that's literally all I've been playing.
Well, it's again Game Pass yet again selling the Craig on great games. Do you think it'll ever gateway you into anything else like Sekiro or Dark Souls or anything like that?
God no. Oh God no. No, I don't hate myself that much, Dave.
Oh no, well, I can understand that. So Pengy, what have you been playing this week, Big Dog? And what have you bought as well? That's the most honest answer.
Right, what I've been playing is related to one of my pickups, so I will display the box for it.
Oh yeah, so we this one was discovered by me and Craig post show last week.
This was going to be on last week's show, but it came like after we done it, and then obviously there's the controller itself.
Very nice.
I've put the white faceplate on it, and you get 3 different faceplates: a black, a grey, and the white. I assume the white looks best. With the black on it though, with the grey, it does make it look even more like a Saturn controller.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like a Sega Saturn controller.
Obviously, it's shaped like a Sega Saturn controller because we all know they're the best for 2D fighters.
Allegedly.
It has got a fantastic D-pad. So related to this, I've been playing some Killer Instincts
Oh God.
on, the Xbox One. Is part of Game Pass. It was like weird free-to-play seasons, if you remember back in the day, and everyone's like, "That's that." Everyone hated that model, but I think that model would actually work now if they did like a Killer Instincts 2, put it in Game Pass, and here's a character every so often to keep you going. So I've been playing some Killer Instincts, and I also download the free version of Dead or Alive 5 last round. Not Dead or Alive 6, Dead or Alive 5. Because I already played 6 previously, so I played 5, played some of that, got some of the achievements on that. I was going to play some of the online, but there is no one online when I I guess everyone's just moved on to Dead or Alive 6. But then some of these old fighting games do keep people around, like Street Fighter 4. People still play, even though you got Street Fighter like 5, for instance. Yes, I've been playing some of them fighting games, and then a bit of Rainbow Six Siege here and there, but that's about it, really. Nothing particularly in particular.
If you
And
told me last week that Chris Bengelli would have spent this week playing 2D fighting games and Rainbow Six Siege,
Yeah.
I would have laughed at you.
Penguin's a pro gamer. That's why. That's what it is. He's going pro again. He's cashing in.
And I did mention it last week, but more Football Manager. First season of Leipzig did win the Bundesliga.
No, I've got
in the first season.
plenty of Football Manager talk in the next one. Don't you worry.
The next season, and just gone, I'm in my first season with Leipzig. I did only finish 5th, but I did win the Cup and the Super Cup. So did will win 2 trophies. So 5 seasons in, 6 trophies so far. 1. Obviously, I'm only in the Europa League this season, but try to win that. That's another trophy.
Nice.
So is that controller an officially like Xbox controller? Or is it third party?
It's a third party one, but it's officially licensed.
Yeah, they do that a lot.
Okay.
Xbox.
So it is made by Power A. Yeah. And it's the Wired Fight Pad Pro.
How much did that cost you, Pengy?
That was $49.99.
Nice. Yeah. So when are you going to Evo? When does the Evo Kickstarter fund start?
Oh, I don't know.
Turn pro, Pengy.
They actually tried to get Killer Instincts back. I did see someone was like holding some sort of Twitch stream of it. There's lots of people playing that online still.
It is a great game, to be fair. Killer Instinct on the Xbox One is a great game.
Yeah, loads of people are still playing that, so it's easy to find games. It still looks great. Obviously, it's backwards compatible, so auto HDR and stuff like that. What I haven't started it yet, but I plan to, especially I've now got that, is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Planning to play some of that. Obviously, 2D plus like a proper 2D sort of fighter, so plan to work. And on 2D fighters, I also be watching some of the beta gameplay for Guilty Gear Strive, and that looks really good. But obviously, that's only on PS4, PS5, so I'd have to get another controller.
You'd have to get, I was
about to say, I'm guessing your controller won't work on that then.
No.
No, that's not going to work with PlayStation. That's not what they do.
That's all I've been playing.
Nice. So not what we were expecting from Pengy this week, I'll be honest. Baffled me. So what have I been playing this week? So I've gone back to Fire Emblem because I could quite like to finish one of the massive Japanese RPGs that I've got in my backlog, as Craig likes to tease us with every week. So I'm enjoying that. I'm like, I've just done the time skip, so I think I don't know, I think like 60% through the game, something like that. But it's good. It's cool to play. Like, I've been on the sofa just chilling out because obviously I'm working less now.
Obviously, I doubt you're going to play it, Craig, and it is quite old. What choices did you make? Time skip.
So I don't really want to spoil it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait. Well, maybe we'll do a spoiler cast on Fire Emblem with Pete when we finish it, because Pete's played it like 4 times. So, but I made the usual Dave choice because I'm never Renegade. I'm always Paragon. Okay, so that's all you need to know for now. I'm always a good boy. Craig. Other than that, I started Cyberpunk. I've played like 20 minutes this morning, so it's fun. I'm gonna play that some more this week. Hopefully, it runs pretty nicely on the PS5, which is good because I was worried it was going to explode. at some point, so that's good. The cars are actually cars. It doesn't look like a PS1, so that's cool. And obviously, I've played like stupid amounts of Football Manager. I played 11 hours of Football Manager straight yesterday because
But I've seen you playing that a lot on the Xbox.
we've got a group save with the boys. Shout out to the boys if any of them bother watching this. But I think we're in season 3 of our Premier League save. I've just left Sheffield United and joined Arsenal. Just spent 164 million at Arsenal as well. Craig, you'd be pleased to hear. So it's coming together. When I left, I think it was.
And
like
you still
second.
didn't fix the defence, I expect, either.
Oh no, I've got my defence of Sheffield United has come with me to Arsenal. Don't worry. So that's good shit. But yeah, I mean that game, the Xbox game. So I looked on the Xbox does the most played list. If you go on the store, it's like high, like it's like top 15, top 20, like every week. It is mad to me that the Xbox version of Football Manager is like, because it's not a Game Pass game yet, and it is like very much one of the most played games on the console, which is crazy to me. It's awesome and I love it, but like it's played more than last year's FIFA, which is, how many copies of FIFA did we sell? And it's on Game Pass. It's played more than that. It's played more than, I think, maybe all of the Battlefields. Might be one of the Battlefields has played more than it. Like, man,
it's one of those franchises, isn't it? Everyone kind of forgets about it. It comes out every year, but you guys kind of forget how huge it is. And,
yeah, it'd be my game of the year every year.
If
we were actually honest, like it would be my game of the year every year. Like really, like you know what I mean. If I was to review Football Manager on Xbox, like the Xbox version of it, I would probably give a 9. Like it's not as good as the PC version, but the cross-play, the multiplayer and stuff is like when it does come to Game Pass, which it will. Like, I feel like someone like you, Craig, doesn't like playing those kind of games on a PC. Like, yeah, of course I recommend it. Like, it's a great game, and the multiplayer is really good. Like, it's baffling to me that it's taken this long, but like the multiplayer is like legitimately. We have like 9 people playing in that save all the time, and 9 times out of 10, it runs perfectly. It works fine. You know what I mean? You're not beholden to like hosts. There's a good amount of tools to set as the host as well. So like you can't have people just sitting there on the screen for like all day. You can set it. You can skip people and shit. So. Yeah, Football Manager's great. That's all you ever need to know.
Have they fixed some of the problems? I remember when it first came out, you said there were some issues.
Heavily patched. So we play it.
Nice.
I mean, I think if I went on my my account, I'm like 5th out of my friends. I think I've played like 230 hours now, and that's almost all of it multiplayer. I've played I've had one save, which I played for about 20 hours on my own, but all the rest is multiplayer. So when it's gonna come, it's an Xbox exclusive, right? It's a console exclusive. So when it comes to it will come to Game Pass, no doubt. It will come to Game Pass. I don't think it ever came out on Stadia this year. I don't think.
No.
That was the only other platform. They did a touch version on Switch, which isn't the same. It's slightly lesser. But yeah.
Yeah, it's the port, the mobile version.
Yeah, but this is like an enhanced version of the PC version of Touch. It's very confusing. So, but it's a good starting place.
It's like an in-between version, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think they're going to build on it. That's the impression I'm getting.
Proper PC.
Yeah, and I think because you get the PC version as well for this, I think they are going to build it out every year. I think you are going to get more features next year. Just looking at the player base, you know what I mean? Like this just makes sense. So, and yeah, other than that, it's the usual bit of Mario Kart, bit of Destruction All Stars. Downloaded Borderlands 3 because I had the upgrade, so I have the PS5 version of that now. So that's exciting. But yeah, that's really
talking about. You said Football Manager issue. Apparently, it's problems with the trophies or something on Borderlands on PS5.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of these PS5 games have trophy problems. Like Dirt 5 has had quite a lot of trophy issues as well, which I don't understand how, because surely they work the same. But I guess this is the one thing. I know we did the Xbox, PlayStation discussion last week, but it's one of those things, because the PS5 is a new system with it's got a new UI and stuff. It is going to fuck up way more than the Xbox, which is just streamlined. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't really changed. The way your achievements work are exactly the same on both Xboxes, coding wise. So
unless it's just one of those Microsoft game and they don't unlock until you come back out and go back in.
Yeah, to be fair, because obviously Xbox does almost all of the achievements are online, then none of them are local. So this is a bit behind baseball. So like, if you're playing offline, it'll sort of notify the server, but obviously the server won't respond. So you can just get nothing, and then you'll log back in and get 100. So usually it's less likely to fuck up. Whereas on PlayStation, because it's local first, it's all to do with your save. So if your trophy just doesn't drop for you, it's not just going to magically come back. So yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Anyway, we need to get to the fantasy cricket draft, so I'm just going to make our beautiful faces disappear now. There we go. So, not a lot's happened this week. We haven't had any new games come out, I don't think. No. And the only one that we've
But
had...
I will have one.
Yeah, you've got
Bravely
Maquette
Default
coming
this
up
week,
soon.
next week.
Bravely Default, yeah, it's this week. So that'll be on next week's show. I've counterpicked that, so I'm going to regret that massively, I suspect. But there we go. And yeah, the only game that's been picked up is I picked up Mario Golf. I believe it's the first game we all went for as well, which is funny.
Yes.
Yes.
And I thought that would happen, so I pumped 15 quid into it.
It's a clever boy.
Well, the thing is,
I
there's only 3 picks left
knew
for me.
Pengals would bid 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go 11?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Scumbag. I don't know. Like, Chris has only got 2 places left, unless he starts dropping stuff. So I was like, I kind of want to pick up, like, Mario Golf will be at least a 70. Like, it could be like a 90. It could be like a 71, but it will be at least a 70, you know?
Yeah, I think I had a look at the last one. It was about 78 on OpenCritic, but obviously that was years ago.
That was, yeah, it was Toadstool
know
4, right? I think, or maybe in the 3DS
Golf
one.
3DS
World or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll get to the topic in a bit, but
Yes,
this
we will.
looks considerably better than that. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be an 8 at least, isn't it? If not, I think
I think a lot of
possibly
people are
even closer to a
nostalgic for
9.
Mario Golf. Like, if you watch a lot of like internet, like IGNs and kind of funnies and Easy Allies, they all fucking love Mario Golf. So I
Yep.
think that will push the review because they haven't had one in so long. Like, I think it's not like the tennis game where there's a tennis game every generation. I think the golf game will get pushed up. But anyway, we're going to talk about Nintendo Direct in a minute. So lovely stuff. Now, is there any other housekeeping? Anyone got any major achievements or trophies this week they want to pimp?
No, I got one physical pickup,
Oh, go
which
on,
came
get
on
the physical one.
Saturday. It's out. We're recording this on Monday, so it's out tomorrow physical and standard digital. But it's been out since Friday, deluxe digital. But my physical came out Saturday, but I've not had a chance to play it because I've been in work. But my Persona 5 Strikers turned up on Switch.
No, that's a strike. It's nice.
Yeah, so that is.
So is that like a spin-off, or is it what is it?
It's sort of a sequel, but
Yes,
it's
it's
played like a Warriors game, not as an RPG.
Like a what game, sir?
Warriors,
Dynasty Warriors.
like Dynasty Warriors. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that Hyrule Warriors game, but for Persona.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it
So do they do
hate
that a lot for
Warriors
their
games.
big series then, I guess?
Yeah, they've done Gundam.
Yeah.
Did they do Yakuza? Or did I dream that?
No,
They did Fist of the North Star.
Gundam. They did some
No,
weird
they did
series,
do Fist of the North. They did do a Fist of the North Star game.
Arson or something like that. It's called ARSAN. Some don't know what it is. They did Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
They did 2 of them. Yeah, they
One
quite
Piece
often
as
do
well.
these.
A lot of Japanese stuff that Craig will not know.
Fire Emblem had one.
And obviously there's the sub series of that was another announcement for the Nintendo Direct, Craig, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted Persona 5 Strikers. Now I'm obviously trying not to pre-order lots of games at the moment because obviously Craig shames me every week by throwing me in with Chris, really, like trying to say that we're on the same level of disgust. So I need to really.
I think on the Switch you are.
On the Switch, I am. I mean, the thing with the Switch, right, and we're going to talk about Nintendo this whole episode anyway. I go through such phases with the Switch where I won't buy or play anything on Switch for 6 months, and then I'll buy 6 games in a month because I'll be like, oh yeah, this came out, and they're all really good games, but they're always like expensive for one because Nintendo, and 2, like they're always long. So I just need to stop. Now I want Strikers. I'm not buying Strikers till I finish Persona 5.
Because
it's just not happening.
In terms of Persona, this is short. It's still like 45. It's like 45 hours just for the story. But obviously Persona 5, but Persona 5 proper is like 120, so it's more than half, like cut off the length. But
the Dynasty Warriors games are usually actually pretty long. Like they seem like because you need to beat like every character. Like, so Hyrule Warriors, I think it's about 60 hours. The second one, like Age of Calamity, it's about a 60-hour game. That's what I keep reading.
Yeah,
I'm sure Chris could run it in 7, but to most people,
so are you planning on playing this, or is this
for the shelf? So when we go to next week, I should have some thoughts on that.
Some thoughts. I love a bit of Chris Pengelly thinking. Right, so we'll go on to the topic of the show, Chris. The tots. And obviously
Yes.
this week, for the first time since September 2019, we had a fully fledged Nintendo Direct. September 2019. If we'd known
Is it
September,
500 odd days or
yeah,
something
man.
like
If
that?
we'd
I think
known
I
then,
heard someone
one,
say.
how long it was going to be, and two, the kind of shit year we were about to have. So we're going to have a quick recap, because obviously all the websites that give you the recap give them in really stupid ways. So we started off with a Smash Brothers announcement for Super
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Ultimate. And that was, of course, that Pyra and Mithra from the Xenoblade 2 games will be arriving on Switch. So it's another anime sword character. Chris, you excited for that?
Not at all.
Okay.
I was hoping actually for an anime sword character. I was hoping for Sora, and there's a lot of like people buzz around Sora.
Sora will
possibly have.
happen, but Sora will be like the last one when they
There's
port
only
all of
two spaces left.
when
Yeah,
they
I was
port
kind
all
of
of the Kingdom Hearts games. That's when Sora will be on Switch.
Yeah, it was a really disappointing opening to the Direct, because obviously there's only been in one game. It's another anime swords
two games.
person.
Because there's a.
Oh, so you're
I'm
you're gonna count the
including Golden
expansion?
Country, yeah, because I have it physical,
Okay.
so it counts.
Okay, I count that. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't really get sort of why Kara have all the possible Nintendo characters you could pick, or
I mean,
towards people
Xenoblade
you could pick.
the Xenoblade series sells well now. Xenoblade 2
Yeah.
sold well. It's a Nintendo-owned franchise, and it is a Nintendo game. That's the thing I think a lot of people are forgetting when you see these sort of like reactions. Is, well, it is. They don't all have to be third-party games.
No,
Like, sure,
but
there's some more like
these-
unique characters. Like, I'd rather have Waluigi because it's funny, like
yeah,
every
for
day of the week.
instance,
But how many Mario games
yeah.
are there?
Mm.
I'm glad
But
it's
then
not Rex.
Mario hasn't really got that many. I guess Mario, Luigi, Wario, Peach, Bowser,
Piranha
compared to
Plant,
like Fire.
Daisy, like
Yeah,
if we ever have this discussion about like characters they need to have, it needs to be Captain Toad, and he needs to not be able to jump. But anyway, so that was the Smash announcement. Again, I don't play Smash. This is probably the least played Smash I've ever had, because I don't live with like 4 dudes. If I still live with Pete and Damon and stuff, I'd play every day, but I don't. And Amanda's not competitive. Bless her, she doesn't
Yeah,
want to play
see, I
stuff like
don't
that.
have Smash, but like I still pick up not all the amiibo, but some of the amiibo. Like I won't be buying her amiibo.
No, even with all the anime titties. So obviously so what I'm
definitely.
going to do throughout this discussion is I'm going to do a little game with myself and with Craig called "Has this made it closer to buying a Switch for you, Craig?" Just a yes or no every single thing we go through. Are you closer to buying a Switch now because of Pyra Mithra?
Definitely not. I had no idea what was going on for this. I'll be honest.
I like your little. I like the idea
I
of
didn't
your
even
little
realize
eyes
it was.
sitting there like,
Yeah.
oh, it's cool. Is this an RPG? I guess with bad voice acting.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, titties, lovely. Right, I'm trying to think what was next, because this isn't in any kind of order. So we'll just go with whatever I've got in front of me. So we had the Hyrule Warriors expansion pass. It was an awful trailer, because it was literally like, here's the game. Here's a screenshot that's on screen for like 2 seconds telling you what's in it. Sort of.
It had a lot of text on screen at once.
Yeah, and it
was
was
really
and it was,
weird.
if you
That
actually
should have been a Twitter post.
Yeah, literally. If you read the text, it's like some new characters.
Yeah, why didn't they just show one of the characters?
Well, there you go, Chris. Why not?
Yeah, just got 4 new characters are coming, and one of them's Linkle.
If only a bit of Linkle. Right, so that's for something a bit more interesting. Again, that's not going to go on the Craig scale, because that's an expansion.
Do either of you have that game or played it?
I own it, and I've not
Anything?
played it.
I own it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So neither of you played it?
Nope.
No.
Oh, it's in the backlog.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's in the backlog.
It looks good.
It looks really good, and I just need to see it. You know what? I was like, I bought it with thinking it was like a 10-hour Dynasty Warriors game, and I was like, oh, that'll be a nice palate cleanser. I can play a Dynasty Warriors game for 10 hours, and then I watched a review after I bought it. It was like, yeah, so it takes about 60 hours. And I was just like, oh fuck, really?
The Fire Emblem one is pretty short, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but no one bought that game. Like, no one plays. I don't know. Like, I know people that love both series and haven't bought that game, including me. I haven't bought that game. Okay, so as for next, what have we got here? So there's some Animal Crossing, Super Mario stuff coming to Animal Crossing. I don't care. Craig doesn't care. Do you care, Chris?
No.
Okay, so we'll skip over that. One thing Craig might care about, because it's also coming to Xbox, is the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection, which is a sort of remastered collection of Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1 and 2 and the Razor's Edge version of 3, which was good. It was on Wii U, I believe. It was a Wii U
Yes.
launch game. Good shit. Obviously, the Ninja Gaiden games are great. They are just hard as dicks. Have you ever played them, Craig? Is it a series that you've missed? Or?
No, I played a demo for one on the 360,
Yeah, which would have been 2.
and I couldn't even like finish the demo. I just gave up and lost interest, in all honest. I think I assumed it was like, oh, this must be like a Devil May Cry game. This should just be fun silliness, and
No.
I quickly realised it wasn't, and
No, it's
gave up very
hard
quickly.
as bollocks. I love it. I used to love those games back in the day, but I don't know if I've got the patience now, especially on Switch.
Yeah.
Any
But like
interest
you
from
said,
you,
it's
Chris?
into Xbox and PS4 and PC as well. Be interesting on the Xbox side, because obviously Ninja Gaiden Black is backwards compatible and Series X enhanced. So it'd be interesting how Black compares to Sigma in that collection. If it's just a straight port of Sigma from the PS3, which it could be, you know, Tecmo Koei haven't said what the enhancements are for this remaster. It'd be interesting how Black and Sigma compares, and really that's the only one I want to play in the collection. I'm not too fussed about 2 or 3. 1 is amazing, was one of like the best games on the original like Xbox, so that I'm interested in. Not really the other 2, and I kind of want to see how it compares to Black. If there's not much difference, I'll just play Black, for instance. But there'll be
Is
no
this a
achievements.
pre-order for you, Chris, or
No.
okay?
Yes, it will be.
No.
Does this add to your scale for the Switch, Craig? Yes or no?
Definitely not.
Okay, sad times. So next we've got a little section which I'm going to call the PS1 remasters no one asked for. So we've got Saga Frontiers getting remastered. And there's
We've got 2 new characters, but the Saga games apparently, like, from what I actually own Unlimited Saga on PS2, but the Saga games, from what I get from people that play JRPGs like a lot, they're not particularly good.
No, I've never heard. It's not one that people shout at me that like, oh yeah, you need to play this game. And it looks okay. Like it's another one of those games. If there wasn't 600 JRPGs on the Switch, it might be interesting. But
yeah, like I've talked to people like RPGs and they're like, oh, you need to play the Legendary Heroes series or the Trials of Cold. Well, it's part of that, but like more obscure RPGs, and like they don't even mention the Saga series.
Nice. We've got another sort of JRPG looking game. It's Legend of Mana, which is a little bit more of a well-known series. Again, it's a remaster. It looks better because it's got it's a mix of pixel art and hand-drawn art. Again, another game. Is it coming June? I think as well, like everything else.
Yeah, it's 24th of June, I think.
Is that be the 5th Mana game? I think on the Switch. There's
You've
3 in the
got
collection, Trials, and then I guess that. But yeah, I guess another game that doesn't really interest me too much. I know it doesn't interest Craig. If it's physical, Chris, will you be broken?
There doesn't mean to be a physical version, so it'd be digital only. And annoyingly, it's in our very first episode where it's just me and you, Dave. Like, this is coming to PS4. Obviously, you can play it on PS5. It's coming to PC. It's coming to Switch. I feel it's coming to like multiple. There's no Xbox version, so that's kind of annoying that it's like on everything apart from Xbox. So Square seems to like do this. Like some they do, some they don't, or whatever. So I would actually play it on Switch if I was going to play it. But I doubt I will.
I'm guessing there's just not much of a market for like that sort of thing on Xbox, is there?
Not at the moment. I think it's only the big stuff they're trying at the minute. So like you've got Yakuza, you've got Final Fantasy, you've got Kingdom Hearts, you've got stuff like Code Vein and all these other newer games. Tales of Arise is going to be one of those. Tales of Vesperia was an Xbox exclusive over here for a while. We'll see. It's one of those things with Xbox, you just don't know. It's because of Game Pass. It's good to have on the portfolio. Like if they keep putting them on Game Pass, then people will keep playing them. Then logically, in a year's time, people will buy them when they're not on Game Pass. But we'll see. Again, I don't think Legend of Mana is the game you try and launch the Mana series on Xbox anyway. No. If you're going to do that, you put either the collection on there or you put Trials.
I was trying to think of any of them on there. It's like Saga like
some of the Saga, I
Romancing
feel like,
Sagas
yeah,
games
Romancing
on
Saga, I
they're
feel
on
like is on
Xbox.
Xbox, but
Yeah,
I don't
they
think the
are.
Mana games are on Xbox. Don't any of them are.
No.
Nice. So again, that's not going to interest Craig, so I won't even ask him. One that might interest Craig though, and this is definitely a Chris Pengelly game. This is a day one Chris Pengelly game. This is DC Superhero Girls Team Power. Don't know if you saw that, Craig.
That was a really strange trailer.
It,
I was really confused as to what was going on with this. There's a weird period of this whole expo where it just seemed to be very odd Nintendo-y sort of games.
You'll get used to the more of these you watch, Craig, the more used to that you'll get. The thing with Superhero Girls, it's actually like a pretty good quality kids game. Like it's a kids game. I'm not going to be, beat around the bush. And also we're not children. We're all old men, so it doesn't interest us. Chris will buy it, obviously, but I think for
It's
what
strange being Nintendo exclusive.
yeah, for what it
Nintendo
is,
are a
like if
publisher.
I had a daughter if I had a daughter that was like 4 or 5 and I wanted them to play games, that seemed like a pretty good, game for them to play that I could probably play with them and it wouldn't be like absolutely horrendous. It's not like, like the Paw Patrol game or the fucking Ice Age game that came out a couple of years ago. I think it looks like better quality than that. But yeah, so when are you pre-ordering it, Chris? Is you going to get it that day one? Is it a couple of weeks after?
No,
Is it a big DC girl fan that you are? No.
No.
And I won't ask Craig if this adds to the scale
Ivy.
because it does add to the scale.
I
already know it does. It's the first point towards Craig buying a Switch for this whole presentation. Is the old DC Supergirls. What else have we got? So they're bringing Tales of the Borderlands back because that obviously got taken off the stores, and that's coming to Switch for the first time. Great game if you haven't played it. I don't think Craig has. No.
No, I was burnt out with Telltale.
That happens. That happens. It's one of the better ones, and I would like if you start playing the Borderlands games again, I would recommend jumping a bit of Tales of the Borderlands in before 3 because it does have some characters that are in 3, like from very early on in 3, which is good, and it's a very funny game. It's like 6 hours, right? I think you can smash out, and
it's an hour a chapter.
1000 G, Craig. That's what you need to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is good.
But that's coming to Switch in March, so that's exciting for all those.
Yeah, I haven't noticed it on the Xbox Store, but I know it's back on PSN, so it must be back on.
It
Xbox
must be coming.
anytime.
It must come on the same time. Yeah, it must be March. It comes back on.
Yeah.
And it must be as well. It's difficult because I own them. I think I own it on both, so it always appears on my library and stuff. So that might be why. What else we got here? No More Heroes 3. I don't know if you've watched any of Rain Arveas' No More Heroes streams, Craig.
No.
So No More Heroes is like a zany hack and slash game that was on the Wii. They ported it to PS3. I don't know if it was on Xbox. I don't think it was. It might have been.
No.
And they've recently put 1 and 2 on Switch. And it's an interesting game. It's Suda, right? Is it Suda that makes those?
Yeah.
It's a very weird Japanese hack and slash. I think you'd probably quite like it, weirdly.
I was about to say, I thought this was probably one of the better points of the whole presentation.
It's a crazy game.
Like a beat 'em up kind of sort of hack and slashy sort of thing.
It's kind of Devil May Cry, and obviously it's got your standard No More Hero stuff where you have to basically wank off the controller to power it up, and it looks like a dick, and you do wrestling moves. There's a whole thing in the second game where you literally learn how to do suplexes for finishing moves, which is great. And there's lots of stupid mini games, and it's a proper mental game.
Was back and showing you cutting some lawns and stuff like that.
The good shit. Yeah, the good shit. And
it was it got a release date as well, didn't it?
It did. I haven't got that in front of me, but yeah,
it's August.
It's been announced. I don't know exact date, but years. Literally, one of the first games I think was announced for the Switch. No More Heroes 3.
Yeah.
And this is one that might add a little temptation to you, Craig. It might be one point to the scale. Do we think?
Might be one that if I had a Switch, I'd be tempted to pick it up.
We'll get him soon. We'll get him. But yeah, that's obviously Nintendo exclusive, I believe. I think they're probably even publishing it. I'd imagine, because that's what Nintendo does for these type of games. But yeah, that's that a pre-order for you, Chris? Because I probably won't pick it up straight away, unless they do a collection of all 3 together. Because I think 1 and 2 isn't physical at the minute on Switch.
No, there's no physical.
So if they did a collection of all 3, I'd probably play them. But it's another game I won't play. So it's enough one I won't be buying.
Yeah.
Lovely. So next one on the list here, another one that I wasn't expecting, Neon White from Annapurna, which is a sort of card speed-based shooter, is the best way I can use to describe it. The problem is that it looked fun, but it looked like the person that playing it knows what they're doing. And will it be that clean and sexy looking when I do it and fuck up and crash and die? So what did you think of that one, Craig?
Yeah.
It's one of those games where you watched it and it looked kind of strange and kind of out there and different, but I couldn't make up my mind whether it was good, strange, and different, or just like odd and weird, strange, and different. I think, like you said, David, you did like how practical was that?
Yeah.
Is that what you're really going to be doing, or is that like the best case scenario?
Yeah.
It's weird because obviously it's Annapurna games and they tend to be good, and I think it's made by the Donut County guy or something like that.
Yeah.
Made by Ben
Yeah.
Spito or something like that.
So it's got pedigree, but you just kind of it was a weird game to show because you just, like you said, you just no idea what that's going to really turn out to be.
It's a good Game Pass game, right? If that had been Game Pass,
yeah, exactly.
You immediately try it and you go, this is great, or that's pants, Obviously, is this another one for you, Chris? You're a big Annapurna fan, I know you are.
Yeah, I'm more excited for this. It's a Switch exclusive. As I mentioned it on like pre-chat, they seem to do this on Annapurna. They have a few games exclusive at one, a few games exclusive, sort of thing. Like 12 minutes is only on Xbox.
Imagine they got paid well
Prey is
to
only
do
on
it, so.
PlayStation. This is only on Switch. But yeah, so I'm excited. Just obviously, if it's hopefully well priced, that could be the only problem with it.
It'd be 15.
I was going to say, like Nintendo obviously prices tend to be quite high. What sort of price would that sort of game normally be at?
Yeah, I think 15-20 be fair. I think the same price as Firewatch.
Yeah,
would be a good price. Speaking of that type of game, Outer Wilds is coming to Switch. Doesn't look as good as it does on everything else, but okay, again, it's on Game Pass, so if you haven't played that game,
if you're going to play it, you're going to play it on Game Pass, aren't you?
And another one of those games you aren't going to play, Chris, on Switch is Apex Legends. Now, my God, did that look worse on Switch? And I get it had to make it run properly, but oof.
I'm looking forward to that coming out and seeing the reactions to that.
If it had cross progression, I'd be moderately tempted to install it to try it, but I can't be asked. Like good for people that haven't played it. If you just have Nintendo, it's a great game. We've always enjoyed it whenever we've played it, but and I imagine the Nintendo only servers will be prime hunting grounds for all the noobs. So I expect Chris is going to jump and get some strats and get on out, Chris. But you going to pick that up, Chris, or you just another one?
It is free to play, but no.
Excellent. So next on the list, another Chris Pengelly selection is the Famicom Detective Club, which are HD remasters, remakes of Famicom games, I presume, from the name.
Yes. Yeah.
Visual novel, point and click. Yeah. Any thoughts, Chris? Because you are the expert in this field.
I don't know if I'm the expert. I quite like to look at these. The problem with these was after watching the direct, I thought, there's two of them. They'd be like $19.99 each. When you get the two, so that's obviously like 40 quid. Or you get the two for $29.99 or something. It's Nintendo, it's still kind of pricey. Thought, that's the thing. No, it's $49.99 for the two.
Yeah,
that's it.
That is extortionate for what it looked like it was.
Back in the UK, it's $49.99 for the two, and it seems like it's eShop only as well.
Yeah.
And in the States, they're $35 each. So in the States, if you want the two, you got to pay $70 for them.
Nice.
Japan, I was getting a physical version, but it's like a fancy collector's one. Like you get the art book and stuff like that. I don't know how much that is, but at least they are getting a physical version. That's the only way I'm playing this is if we get a physical version as well, because I'm not paying 50 quid for that digitally.
Yes, that's proud words from the Pengy. Proud,
and
powerful.
Then physical 40, 50 is a lot, but at least with that, if I don't like it or whatever, I can trade it in, or you can do something with your copy. And there's Nintendo games,
that's what you can do.
You're not gonna lose much, but yeah, I'm not paying 50 quid for it. Sorry, Nintendo.
You've gone wrong when even Chris Pengelly will not pay money for your game.
For your exclusive game as well. That's the thing.
You've done something wrong there.
Especially as we had another visual novel type game shown, which is getting a physical version. It's getting a limited edition one as well.
Speaking of which, that game, Chris, is called World's End Club or World Ends Club, right? Is that the one
Yes,
you're on about? From the
yes,
makers
that's
of
one on
Danganronpa and the
Virtual Class
which is like
Reward
a
and 99
collaboration.
would it be 999 or something like that?
999, yeah. It's the Nanari games. That's what they're called.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
looks
0 to 6.
interesting. Like the Danganronpa games are really cool and they're really good.
Mm.
Like they're like anime Saw. Craig is the best way to describe them. They're like sort of puzzle visual novels. They are very high quality for what they are. Very, very high
Yeah.
quality. And same with the Nonari games as well. Again, it's anime Saw. It's you're in like a group. There's a group of you. One who's a killer, and you've got to do little tasks and all that kind of stuff. And I'm really undersold it on that, but it's those type of games. And this looks a little bit more interesting because it looks like there's other mechanics. It doesn't look like a
Yeah,
pure.
literally, there's like a 2D
Yeah, it's like boss fights
platform
and like
sequence.
puzzles, and obviously the art style is really good. It looks really good on the Switch. It was a really wise choice to basically do a 3D modeled version of Danganronpa. Because I
Yeah.
think if that's an anime, like an animation game, I think it just falls by the wayside of all the hundreds of other visual novel animation games that they have on Switch. Whereas to have 3D models and that kind of like almost Pokemon Sword and Shield art style is pretty interesting. And this is one of those that is. Did they say this year, Chris?
Yes, it's this year.
Because this is probably a
It's
guaranteed
June as well.
guaranteed Fantasy Critic points. This one. This is a guaranteed.
Unfortunately, it already came out on
Oh, it's
Apple
in
Arcade
Japan.
last year.
Ah, okay.
It's already out on Apple
Okay. How did
Arcade,
it review in
but
Japan?
Oh, so you
wasn't-
could have played it already, Chris.
but it
Konnichiwa.
wasn't finished.
Oh, is it episodic in
Oh.
Japan?
No, well, even on Apple Arcade, it's like I don't know. It's only got like 2 chapters or whatever, but obviously this is a complete game. So you'll find out who the killer was, I guess, or you might have been the killer. Who knows? I've not played it.
Nice.
It was a weird one because I didn't even realize this was a visual novel when I watched this. It's only when you guys started saying that, but
Yeah,
it became clear that it was. I thought this was some sort of like platformy game.
Yeah, it looks like a strange mix. It will be good. Like I have no doubt. Like the people making it and looking at that trailer, it will be good. But again, it's the type of thing. If you own a Switch, these are the type of games that you get as your exclusives that aren't Nintendo games. And it's not a bad thing, but you have to really be into it. Like you're not an animation guy in the slightest, Craig. So it's like it's not gonna. I can't imagine it's gonna tickle your balls too much unless you had a Switch and it was like £12 or something, which I doubt it will be.
no, like
it will be full price.
I know, like I think the limited edition is like 60 or something like that. But
Yeah,
it is actually physical when you get like an art book and some badges, and because obviously you're some sort of obviously club. Obviously, you're not the world's end.
You're a club at
I
the
don't
end
know
of the
what
world,
that-
Chris. That's the impression I got.
Yeah, I know, but the actual club in the game, why you're all there, like their badge and stuff like that.
Nice. Well, speaking of nonsensical Japaneseness, Project Triangle Strategy, announced by Square Enix, is a homage to Final Fantasy Tactics, built with the Octopath Traveler engine. And these are words that I'm saying that Craig is looking at me like I've shot his dog. But this looks to be one of the games that I'm most excited for next year, because
Yeah.
they don't make enough Final Fantasy Tactics games. They just don't. They themselves have not made one since the DS, I believe, with A2.
Yeah, I was gonna say that or War the Lions come first. I can't remember.
Warlines PSP, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
PSP,
like,
DS same
yeah.
time.
But it's a strategy RPG. Obviously the Octopath Traveler engine is absolutely stunning, and I love it. It's this like 2D HD thing that they do where it's kind of like perspective and like weird lighting and stuff. And man, there is a demo that's just come out. They do the usual Square Enix thing where you play the demo and then a month later you get an email asking you how you like the demo, so they can adjust it for when it comes out next year. They've done this for Bravely Default. They did it for Octopath Traveler, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, I have the demo. It's downloaded on my Switch. I think it's a couple hours long, so I will probably play it at some point this week. I might even play it tonight, to be honest.
4 hours to finish the demo.
Oh, that's not too bad for a demo. That's
So you've played
pretty
it,
good.
Yeah, I've played it. It's
Oh, thoughts.
best new thing I've played this year.
Oh,
It's
really?
absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's annoying that it's like 2022 because like going like fantasy draft, I'm like, oh, $60 on this.
Yeah, it's one of those that even from what I've seen, that's going to be the big hit for Square Enix next year as well. They seem to be doing that yearly now, right? Almost with their
Yeah, I
games
feel
to
it's
Switch.
going to come February next year.
Mhm.
In like this year we get Bravely Default 2. Next year we get that. Then the year after we get Bravely second, third.
Project
Chapter prologue.
Octopath Strategy 6 or whatever. Does
Yeah.
this do anything for you at all, Craig, or is this more anime Japaneseness that you don't want?
I thought it looked interesting. To be fair, I thought it was one of the better parts.
Ooh, I've almost got him.
I kind of see it's a game that I play or invest in, but it definitely looked. I can see why people would be excited for that. Definitely.
And
Like
this
you
is
said, the art style looked really good.
Oh yeah.
The whole having 3 whatever it was factions or empires and having to juggle them seemed like quite a cool mechanic. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting game that they showed.
I would still pay all of the money to watch you stream some strategy RPGs. I think it of the RPG genres that you haven't played, it's probably the one you're most likely to enjoy because it's a bit more like it's a thinking man's game as opposed to like here's 15 different systems that like all intertwine to do this. It's more of a like right, my guy's here, the baddies are over there, the terrain gives you plus defense. You know what I mean? It's like it's that type of game, and it's
I was just using on one of the maps. There's a stealth character called, I think she's called Anna, and like you can like sort of go invisible. You can't go invisible because if someone spots you, but like making her go all the way around the map and like taking like the archers out and stuff like that with her and with a little dagger. So, and then obviously they have like the speed stats. So someone's got quicker speed, their turn comes around quicker, so you can move them around and that. And obviously the game has the choices and it has like this scales thing. So they at the end of the demo, as before like the last battle, you can make a choice if you're going to protect Prince Roland or hand him over. And I protected him. And I tried to see if anyone done the other way, but I couldn't find anyone that actually at the time.
Maybe I'll do the other way then later on, and we'll see what happens.
See what happens because I know another battle thing breaks out, so it'd be interesting how that plays out. I don't know what they end up calling it in the end because obviously Project Octopath Traveler became Octopath Traveler.
It will be called Triangle Strategy. That's what it's going to be called. I don't know why they're pretending it's not going to be called that. This is the Square Enix. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Once it sticks, it's
yeah.
I don't know what else you would call it though, because obviously it's 3 kingdoms, but you can't call it 3 kingdoms. Can't call it
Triangle Tactics. That's what you call it.
Yeah, I guess.
It had the really cool mechanic as well with the voting, didn't it? Where you had to try and get people to vote with you and kind of bribe them to do that. And imagine there'd be consequences for what they want from you in return, which seemed pretty cool as well.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have 3 main pathways, right? That's what it looks like, which would be cool.
Yeah,
I love when
it's
RPGs
more
do that.
something and something. But that's like also if the demo like come to like 4 hours long. 4 of the people wanted to vote to hand over Roland, so you have to like get them to like change their mind depending on obviously what you want to do. You only get 1 vote out of like the 8 of you, or however many there is. But to get them to change the vote, you need like reasons. So you have to go into the little town, walk around because you can still walk around and stuff like that. Walk around the town, get stuff from villagers, then go back and that, and then get them to like change their mind. But you could have made the demo shorter. You just go straight to voting. Everyone votes to hand over Roland, and if that's what you want to do as well, like if you want to be like I guess plays a bad guy, I don't know which one case of that. So yeah, interesting. Voice acting's fairly decent, and the art when you can look at character profiles is good as well. So
yeah 2022 can only come around soon enough, Pengy, I guess. As for random RPGs, another great segue is that we got a 3DS port now, Chris. We got Miitopia, which is the RPG game where you play as Miis and you make your own little world. And from what I'm told, is a pretty good game. $49.99 though, Chris, for that one.
Yeah,
interesting.
And it seems with that as well, it seems to be unless Nintendo obviously haven't updated the eShop, they have Plants vs Zombies was updated right away saying it's coming on a cartridge. So I think it looks like it's possibly digital only. And I also don't really get the point of it. Because on obviously 3DS you had the Mii's for Street Pass and that. so you could build up your Mii's on the game. So I remember on my 3DS is here somewhere. There is my 3DS. Like I mostly have got Mii's on this of people from when I've been to EGX and stuff like that on here. And then if I was to play Miitopia, they would be in that game. But I've never made a Mii on my Switch because I've never had to. There's never been like a point to it where like Miitopia seemed like it made a point for the 3DS.
Yeah, it is a weird one. I mean, of all the 3DS games they could have ported, it is a strange one. I mean, it's a good game, right, from what I'm told, but like, yeah, it's a bit strange. Obviously, there seems that there's a bit more advanced Mii creator in the game, which is good because obviously the Mii stuff has been the same since the Wii, which is 2006 at this point, which is 15 years ago if you want to feel old. But yeah, okay, it's a weird one. Craig, obviously, that Miitopia do absolutely anything for you at all?
I thought this was terrifying.
It's pretty scary.
Absolutely terrifying. I thought I did not realize this was a thing. I kind of never want to see this again in my life. I don't know.
I want to show you Tomodachi
Is it a
Life.
kids game? Is it what? It just seemed really odd. They seemed to spend a lot of time on it as well.
Yeah,
Here's our character
real
customization.
It's a real
this
Nintendo
is in every
stuff,
game ever.
man. If you're into like Nintendo, it's like one of those things. It's supposedly for kids, but it's the 35-year-old dudes that have been playing Nintendo since like the NES. They're into it, I'm not one of those people, so I will not be picking that up.
It's only got like 5 years to go until you're there.
Hey, it's still 5 more years, right? So to move this on quickly, I'm going to give this game as much time as it was given on the show. Star Wars Hunters is a game. So moving on.
That'd be awful.
It's by Zynga. It's going to be terrible. So
yeah, it's coming to mobile and Switch.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. Like, if you like Star Wars, don't even bother.
Yeah.
What have we got? To stick with EA, we got Knockout City.
Which
this is a weird trailer because I had no idea what. Yeah, because they did a terrible job of showing what that actually was.
Because the characters before the actual gameplay were kind of interesting. I was like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting. And then the game is just like, oh, do you remember we made Rocket Arena last year? We've taken the rockets out and replaced them with dodgeballs. Please buy it.
It's it does seem like it's free to play and it is on all formats and it is cross-play.
I believe it's free to play to begin with. Like it's free to play for the first month, and then it's not free to play anymore. From the stuff I've seen since,
that has to be free to play.
They didn't run from Rocket Arena then. Arena.
Again, I don't know what to say because it could be fun, but for me it's baffling. Is you've got this and you've got another similar game that's better than this in this direct, so we'll talk about later. So it's like, oh, whatever. What else we got? There's so much stuff on here that's just random. We have got. So we talked about it earlier. Samurai Warriors 5. It's Japanese Dynasty Warriors. It looks like Samurai Warriors. So cool.
Didn't Chris say this is coming to everything as well?
It's coming to everything. Yes, it'd be the first Samurai Warriors on Xbox
since 2.
Which I played 15 years ago or something like that.
It was one of the first 360 games I bought.
Yeah. Is it in English or is it purely Japanese?
Yeah, it's English. They're usually in English.
Yeah.
The trailer wasn't, I don't think, but it's usually they're usually in English. They have awful voice acting. That's one of the favourite things about it.
Yeah, and they've changed like the art style to like a bit of shaded compared to like slightly more realistic. So yeah, I'm interested. This must really get on Xbox, seeing it's coming to Xbox. Unless it hasn't got a physical version.
There's a pattern we're starting to notice with Chris. Again, I liked 2. That's the last one I played. I had a horrible achievement list. We had to beat the game. It's like every character like 4 times, I think, if I remember rightly. But
brutal.
Yeah, there's like 30 characters. Cool. Another really random game that we've talked about before, and I don't understand. I don't understand this at all. Stubbs the Zombie in Rebel Without a Pulse. It's coming to Switch.
This is the first time it was officially announced as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's true
it got leaked.
Leaked it.
Achievements. Obviously, it was an Xbox original exclusive, so I think we all presumed it was going to be a bit of an Xbox Game Pass remake, and that doesn't appear to be the case, Chris.
No, I've not seen Game Pass mentioned with this at all.
It needs it.
Because like an hour later, Xbox dropped the trailer on their YouTube page, announcing it officially. Yeah.
It was a good game back in the day, but the trailer they used obviously uses a lot more. I haven't seen the Xbox trailer, so hopefully it's not the same. But this looks like an original Xbox game. Like it was built on the Halo 1 engine. It looks like it.
Xbox game on everything.
Yeah, it's
It doesn't look like it's got like the Destroy All Humans proper remaster job, does
no,
it?
definitely
Really
not.
does
This
just look like they've just ported it.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
a fun game back in
which
the
is
day. Don't get me
strange.
wrong, but it's not a game you pay. I don't. For me personally, it's not a game you pay a significant amount of money for. Like if that's a Game
No.
Pass game, you play it and it's fun. But if it's even 15 quid, I think I'm calling
Yeah,
a
I
miss on
think
that.
it's a
Yeah.
weird price. I think it's like $16.74.
Yeah, which is like
something
$20
like that.
basically. That's it's just.
I know
Yeah,
it's coming out quite soon. There's not a lot coming out, but
Yeah.
even at that price, I don't see people
I think it's
investing that.
mid-March.
Yeah, I just don't see people paying that much money for it.
Especially when it's a game at a cheaper price, which is also coming to Xbox, and that is Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, finally coming to other consoles. I hope, pray, and predict that it's going to be a Game Pass game on Xbox. And if that is the case, I cannot wait because I look forward to playing that with Craig, and I look forward to playing that with Pete and Damon and people like that we didn't get to play with on PlayStation. So yeah, any thoughts, Craig? 'Cause I know you were quite excited about this back when it was originally sort of shown. It's like a fun game. But now it's finally coming to Xbox and Switch. Does it tempt you?
It's a weird one because there's rumors that it would come straight to Game Pass, and then I'm pretty sure the developers have kind of distanced themselves from that. So it makes you think that it probably won't. Which again, if those sort of games aren't free to play, then they just tend to die a death. That makes sense. I can't imagine, a lot of people would pay a huge amount of money for it. So
It's a 15.
it's
I think
also
it's 15, right? 15 quid usually.
no, it's not too bad. It's also one of those games that it was massive when it first came out,
Yeah.
and now I just never see anything about it. Like it was like top of Twitch every day for like a month, and now I never see anyone playing it. I never hear anything about it. So I don't know. It feels like they've missed, the peak of its popularity now coming out. It might make it have a second peak. Who knows?
I
Coming
think
to Switch and
make it
Xbox,
free to
might
play,
get
make it
people
cross
interested.
play, make it cross progression, and it's back in there. Like same as Rocket
exactly.
League began to drop down a little bit. It going free to play is like revitalized that game even more. So I think if Fall Guys were to do that, because they do have the skins and stuff every day, and there's content, and it is fun. That's the thing. Like it's a really fun game. Like if it were to come to Game Pass, or even if we were to buy it for 15 quid, I know we'd get 20-30 hours of fun out of it. You know what I mean? Like it's that type of game. But yeah, I think again for Switch it's great. I think for Switch it's a great audience for that type of game. But like you said, I think it needs to be free to play at this point, just to really stand a chance. If not, it needs to be cross play because you need one or the other. I think now in 2021. Oh, take a breath because I've talked a lot. So next one on the list. I want to save all the big ones to the end. So what have we missed here? Let's just have a quick, very professional scan. Obviously, there's dates for Monster Hunter Rise. There was a trailer. It's coming out next month, so I don't know why they showed a trailer. Bravely Default comes out. Look, Monster Hunter Rise is going to be fantastic, but we're not going to play it, so I'm not going to buy it. Chris is obviously going to spend.
I know someone who has.
Like it's just you're not going to play it. That's why I'm not. That's why I cancelled mine. I was like, I'm not going to play this for more than 20 hours. I'm just not. Like, I'll play World on fucking Xbox if I really want to.
I was about to say, when World's on Game Pass and none of us are playing it, I guess it's one of those, isn't it? But it did look great.
It'll be great.
The whole
yeah.
mounting mechanic looked great. There was one where someone mounted it and kind of took over one of the
that's one of the main mechanics of this one is that you can you can take over the wyverns and stuff, which is cool.
It also looked like there was not horses obviously, but there's stuff that you could ride as well around.
Yeah, you have like a little horse, a little dog that you ride.
Which looked pretty cool.
Yeah, again, that game will be one of the best games this year, like guaranteed. But it's not for me. It's never going to be for me. I've tried too many times.
If I had a Switch, I'd be all over this. I think this.
I mean, again, it would take. So if Chris is buying it, it would take you buying it and being like, Dave, we need to play this for me to play it. Like, I know, you know what I mean. I know how it goes. So let's get on to the biggest announcement for me of the whole show. The best game announced the show. The day one pre-order of the show. It's Mario Golf Super Rush. It's finally happening, boys and girls. The Tennis Aces team have decided to stop all this tennis rubbish. We've got golf back. I can't wait. What's your thoughts on that, Pinky?
Yeah, the same. I love Toadstool Tour on the GameCube, and like we've not had a golf game for ages. We had one on the 3DS, I believe.
Yeah.
But
worldwide tours.
yeah, and
stuff.
obviously it's got story mode, sort of story RPG mode. So I remember the Game Boy Color one had something like that in it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so excited for some Mario Golf, and the Speed Rush looks like it'll be a lot of fun for multiplayer.
Definitely. Is this one of the big ones to tempt you, Craig? I know you like some arcade
Oh,
golf.
this looked. Oh, I love golf games. This looked really good, to be fair.
Yeah.
It looked a lot more in depth than I thought it was gonna be as well, with the whole like putting mechanics it looked like, and obviously the motion controls look like ass. So forget about that. But
That's for your dad and your kids. That is, mate. That's what they
yeah,
they got to put it in there. Okay, they've got to put it in there. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the Mario Golf is one of those games that when you buy a Nintendo console, you get one of those games and you know that's going to stay in your console for like potentially years because it's just always going to have like a sort of group of players playing it. That game will have a player base, like Mario Kart and Mario Tennis have player bases, and it will always have player bases. Mario Golf is always going to have a player base. So as long as the online is good, and they mentioned multiplayer a couple times in the trailer. The multiplayer on the 3DS one was pretty good, and the multiplayer on Tennis Aces is good. So I'm hopeful that that'll have a cool ranking system and some tournaments and stuff. And I plan on playing the shit out of it. So that is the one game in this whole direct that I have pre-ordered and will pre-order, and obviously I've got it on my fantasy critic because I think it's a guaranteed set of points for your boy.
this was like the highlight of the whole thing, wasn't it? Really, this was
for me, yeah,
the
100%.
best moment of the thing.
Yeah,
of that whole show.
I think if you're a lapsed Nintendo fan, I think it's probably easily the biggest. Like if someone like yourself, Craig, that's only ever really played the N64, I think that's like games like Mario Golf are the ones that you look at and go, well, maybe, like, well, if I see a Switch for £200 in a couple of months' time and there's nothing else I want, it's got Mario Golf and Mario Kart. That's really all I need, Cheeky bit of Mario 64 in there as well, Craig. But yeah, Mario Golf, great stuff. That leaves two more announcements. Obviously, Skyward Sword HD. So Chris has long held the thought that this is is one of the better 3D Zelda games, and now we get to see if he still thinks that, because it is coming to Switch in June with some lovely Joy-Cons that my girlfriend is desperate for, even though she doesn't. She has a Switch Lite.
I do want Joy-Cons.
The way they announced this was awful.
Absolutely
terrible.
Really sorry. The game you want is we're not talking about that. So sorry about that, buds. Here's
the fact they got that guy out, and he had to stand there and be like, we know you want to see Breath of the Wild 2, but you ain't seeing it. And we're not even really going to
long-standing Nintendo
anything.
fan, this is not a surprise. I mean, during the Wii U era, the amount of times Eiji Aonuma had to come out and say, Breath of the Wild, we're not showing anything. Sorry, bud. Here's random Zelda game from 20 years ago. Like, how many times did that happen during the Wii U era? Like 4 times?
Quite a few.
But yeah,
I feel like they would have been better if they just didn't mention Breath of the Wild 2.
They
just skipped over that.
They have to, because they know. As soon as you see Eiji Aonuma, you get excited that it's Breath of the Wild because he's Mr. Zelda. So as soon as you see him, as soon as you trot him out, I personally would have just played the trailer and then had him come out. I'd have done it the other way around. I'd have been like, here's Skyward Sword, so you're excited, and then you're like, oh yeah, we're really sorry, there isn't going to be, there's still E3 or whatever, like E3 where they could show Breath of the Wild. I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming this year at all. I really don't.
No,
but
I think if it was coming, like this is their first direct in whatever, like 500 days, surely they show something more than just an old man saying it's not coming.
It's tough with Nintendo because they could just announce a game and it comes out next month. They've done it before, like recently. They've announced big games and they've come out next month. But anyway, as for Skyward Sword, it looks like an improvement on Skyward Sword. It graphically looks really nice. It always had a really nice art style anyway. They've got motion controls and button controls, so it'll play kind of like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. If you ever played those games where you slice with the stick. So you can play it like that. That's cool. That's fine for me. I don't like.
It sounded like a really weird control system.
Yeah,
the fact that one stick, I'm guessing, will move you around, and then one stick will.
So what it'll do,
slice in a direction.
What I think and what I can gather from the trailer is when you lock on, it will let you use the stick to slice. When you're not locked on, it's camera.
Yeah, that seems really strange.
And I believe there was a quick slash anyway, right, Chris? Where you pressed B and there was a quick slash in that game anyway. So
yeah, I've not played it since it came out.
Yeah, and for context, Chris, Skyward Sword is probably one of the most puzzle Zelda games because the combat is basically a puzzle in itself anyway. So when the combat scenarios happen, it's not like, say, Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess, where you kind of hack and slash your way through like groups of enemies. It's kind of more like they'll take their turns to kind of. You'll see in the AI like they won't all attack you at once and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a very puzzle heavy game. I'm interested to see what people actually think, because I personally don't think Skyward Sword is that good because it has a lot of bloat. It's a very bloated game. But I'll be interested to play it again
Yeah,
now.
it's one of the longer Zelda games.
There's a
Like,
hell of a lot of backtracking to areas. There's a hell of a lot of fighting the same boss.
Me back in the day, like 48 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, for context, that's about the same length as Breath of the Wild, which is obviously a different type of game. But I'll be interested to see what people think of it now, because, like I said, we'll see. We'll see if it's as loved as people think it is.
Does it literally look like it's just a HD remaster?
It's literally a HD remaster. It looks almost identical. They've taken like the Wiimote off of the screen, because there was a Wiimote always on the screen. So unless they announce something else in the next couple of months that they've changed something or other, like there's going to be amiibo support, I presume. So that I imagine there'll be something. They usually have some sort of amiibo dungeon. That's what they did in Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Had that kind of stuff as well.
But they haven't announced anything of that yet.
No, and obviously the weirdest thing for me is it's the Zelda 35th anniversary, and there was no mention to the anniversary in that whole presentation. No mention of it. They didn't even go on. They didn't even say for the anniversary, here's this game. Like they didn't even mention it once. So. Is there going to be anything, Chris? There should be, but will there? Who knows? Who knows?
Maybe they're going to celebrate Fire Emblem's anniversary instead.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. I mean, obviously, it's Pokemon's 25th as well, which is the bigger one. I'm surprised we haven't had a spin-off direct from this, and we'll talk about that afterwards, I suppose. And the last game that was announced, another one that Craig would definitely like if he had a Switch, but he doesn't, so it's difficult for an outsider, and that is Splatoon 3, coming 2022. Really weird trailer to begin with, because I was like, why is this like fucking Borderlands open world Splatoon intro they've given us?
Why is the tower upside down?
Yeah, I was like, okay, fine. But then obviously it just basically went into the game, and I was like, oh, cool, it's more Splatoon. It looks like they've had some cool quality of life changes. It looks like it's going to be fun, because Splatoon's always really fun, and the game sells like absolute diamonds in Japan. So, great. Did this do anything for you at all, Craig? I can't remember if you've played any Splatoon in round here or anything.
Briefly, the second one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because I thought it looked like it was going to be some sort of single player Splatoon, which looked quite interesting.
They have got good single player modes, both of them.
Okay.
Really good.
But then the gameplay they showed just looked pretty much like Splatoon 2. I thought. I don't know. I obviously only played it briefly, for an hour or so, but yeah, it almost reminded me of like the whole Overwatch situation, where it's like, could this just have been like an add-on for Splatoon 2, or is this actually going to be worth a whole new game? I don't know.
I think for Nintendo, it's their most iterative franchise now, which is really interesting, because I think even more than like Mario Kart and stuff like that. Like each Mario Kart is a very different game, whereas this is very iterative. Like the second one added on the first one. There was a lot of different type of content that wasn't in the first one, and this already looks like this. This PvE sort of elements you can see in the maps. So they have a little crab guy come out, and there's different weapons, and it looks like the way they use the weapons looks slightly different as well. You might even be able to like switch between them.
Like boxes dropping down, so maybe.
Yeah, and it looks like to me that I don't know if it was you're individually doing that, or if it's the team captain is picking where you land. Because once they boosted, all four went in like a line together. Like obviously, if you did it each, you could all land in the same place. But obviously, that's for someone who's like into it. As for single player, the first game and the second game single player is really good, and it's not just like here's a match of Splatoon, play it with bots. It's more like a platformer actually. The single player has really good boss fights. The last boss of Splatoon 1 is one of my favorite boss fights I've ever done. It was amazing. And no doubt in my mind, when Splatoon comes out next year, that is the first game that a lot of us are going to try and get for the fantasy draft, because that is going to be a 90+ game. Like, or I can almost guarantee it. Like, it looks like Splatoon. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You know what I mean? So. And it is of the franchises that are on Switch. If Craig had a Switch, would be his most played franchise. I bet money with you it would be your most played game, other than Mario Kart, right? Because you haven't played Mario Kart for 20 years, so you have to catch up. But like
endless Mario Kart,
the online multiplayer system and the Splatfest stuff is like so good, Craig. Like it's like so good.
Splatfest ties into this because Chaos won.
Yes, Chaos won. So that's why that's why the story. So in the end of Splat. So what Splatfest is, Craig, is it's like a monthly online event where you have like two teams. So like, say one of them was ketchup and mayonnaise, right? Which one do you prefer? So you the whole community of the game, one would be one team, one would be the other, and then you have matches against each other as teams to like points for overall, right? And then there's an overall winner at the end of the weekend, and then you get stuff, right? So at the end of Splatoon 1, they did one of these for the two main characters, and
Ali and Marie.
Callie and Marie, and obviously the winner of that and the loser affected the story of 2. So the losing character was like missing in 2, and it's like the whole story is to find her basically. And it looks like they've done that for this, which is was it Order and Chaos, which is a really interesting way of like picking how you're gonna like make your game. I think it's fascinating as a developer to leave it in the hands of your player base to be like, look, we want to make either of these 2 games, but depending on how you play this one event in the previous game, this is how the story is going to play out in the next game. Is like cool as fuck to me, to be honest. But yeah, Splatoon 3
now
is huge.
like, okay, Chaos 1. So you look at like the first trailer I said about the Eiffel Towers upside down and that. But if Order 1, what would that look?
Yeah, would you have been in like a neon city, like a proper
Yeah.
like, white neon city, like Blade Runner or something, or like Cyberpunk? I don't know, it's cool. But yeah, like I say, next year already. So you got 2022 now. From this direct, you've got Project Triangle Strategy and Splatoon 3, sorry, for Switch. I'm already thinking next year's year of the Switch. Fuck 2021, Craig. 2022 is the year of the Switch.
Especially if, like we think Breath of the Wild does get.
Like Breath of the Wild will probably
pushed
get pushed,
into next
and
year.
I think you will get a new Switch model next year. I think you will get a new. I think it needs a new Switch model. It won't be like that different. It will just be slightly better, and you'll be able to play more games on it. Like it's cool. And then obviously then when the Switch gets cheaper, Craig, you can get a £150 Switch. I'm just saying.
I don't know if it ever will get cheaper. There's so much demand for it, and there's no reason for them to make it cheaper at this point.
It's just true. So, overall thoughts on the direct? Do you reckon? Give it out of 10. Say, Craig, what do you reckon? As someone who doesn't own a Switch as well.
Yeah, so as an outsider, so I thought it was quite funny because I went onto Twitter after this.
People hated it.
Everyone seemed to be negative, which is really weird to me. I think Jeff Keighley did a poll where it wasn't 1 to 10, but it was A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
I voted B because I thought it was quite a good show. I
Yeah.
quite liked the fact that it was just games with some Japanese dude snapping his finger in between. And I thought, some of the games were just tap for me, but some of the big announcements seemed pretty cool, like Splatoon and Mario Golf and No More Heroes and all that. Yeah, I thought they look good. They look fun games. If I had a Switch, I'd be pumped for that. And I was really shocked to see that the majority of people actually
Nintendo fans are never happy.
Voted D, C. No one had voted A or B. So I don't know. I think I thought it was better than most people who own a Switch, which is strange.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for 1 to 10, I don't know, like an 8 maybe.
Yeah.
The fact that the whole Zelda thing was just hilarious. I mean, I was genuinely laughing at how they did that.
Yeah.
So maybe if they did show some Breath of the Wild, it'd be higher. But yeah, I think probably an 8. And I thought there's enough there to look forward to. If you own a Switch, there was games there that some of them are coming quite soon that you can buy. There's stuff to look forward to for next year. I thought people were maybe expecting too much from it.
Yeah.
And
Nintendo fans, man, they want the world.
Yeah.
And I think as well, if you compare that to say like an Inside Xbox, when we used to get those, like I think this trumps that almost every way. Like as an Xbox player, and even to be fair, even the PlayStation one actually, if we're going to throw everyone in, like you might get one announcement that you're excited for, but you very rarely get 3 or 4. You know what I mean? I think this Nintendo Direct covered quite a lot of stuff. So, obviously, Chris, you're going to be a bit more critical as a. So where are you at?
When I first watched it, like I said, it started off bad in my opinion. The whole Pyre stuff for Smash, so that was not a good start. And like watching it like live and talking to obviously people like this, there's like a group of us from Gmania talking, and it seemed a lot of disappointment and it did seem kind of disappointing. But then going through, obviously we've gone through all the stuff like now, and after going through the stuff, it's like I got Bravely Default to look forward to like this week. Next month I got Monster Hunter Rise in March. Then I can't remember. There was April.
There's a lot of stuff for June as well. A lot of stuff for June.
Yeah, there's something in April. Yeah, it might be like, let's say, World Zone Club in April, and it was like May it wasn't Mario Golf, that's June. But it's like, there was something to look forward to that's only on Switch every month up until August, which was No More Heroes 3. And when they did the conference, they said they were focusing on early 2021 games. Obviously, we did have Project Triangle and Splatoon 3, but they have laid out like the first half of 2021, like I said, all the way to August, really, of a game a month, and it's a decent game every month. Like Monster Hunter Rise is going to be mostly like a 90+ game. Mario Golf, like, you know, you've drafted it, we all bid on it because we all thought it was good and going to be good. No More Heroes. No More Heroes could go either way, but I think it will be a fun game.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I look back at it like that and like laying out what's coming, it's like, yeah, this is actually not a bad year.
So what score would you
Not
give that
bad,
one?
yeah. So is
year
it
of
no
the
longer the year of the Switch?
It's still the year of the Switch
I
because we
okay.
still got September, October, November, December, Craig, as well.
I think there's plenty of games. So if you would give it a score, Pengy, how are you looking at out of 10?
7.
7. Okay. So I'm with Craig. I think it was a very strong conference. A very strong direct. I think again, Nintendo fans are never happy. They always want F-Zero or Metroid or whatever. They always want everything. Like I say, other than the Breath of the Wild, the way they handled Breath of the Wild, and a couple of the EA trailers. Obviously, we didn't even talk about Plants vs Zombies. I completely forgot, but that was on there as well. But other than a couple of trailers that were a bit hit or miss, I mean, for me, as someone who has a Switch and doesn't play it every day, I'm not Mr. Nintendo anymore. But like, there was plenty of stuff that I'm excited for this year and for next year. So I'd give it like an 8.5, 8 myself. I think it was a good direct. You know, I think Mario Golf on its own would probably have been fine. I said my girlfriend's really excited for Skyward Sword. I played Xenoblade 2, and I'm happy that Pyra and Myth are in there. If I played Smash, I'd be like, because they look like quite fun characters to play as. Obviously, on all the weird Japanese stuff, getting Fall Guys, you know, that kind of stuff. There's plenty of good content on Legend of Mana looked fun. So I think as long as we haven't got to wait another 500 days, I think it's a good show. Like if we get a show at E3 where they show off the end of the year, like
they said, like the first half, and only really date-wise only takes you up to August. E3's like June, so they can. Oh, don't forget, next month is No More Heroes, and then after that in September is, I don't know what's in September.
yeah,
but
and we haven't had, so we've still got Pokemon Snap to come. Like we will have a Pokemon Direct probably in the next couple of months, right? Probably maybe next month, I say, that they'll do a Pokemon Direct and they'll talk about it's their anniversary. They will do a game.
Day on the 27th, I think. I feel it's Pokemon Day on the 27th.
Yeah, so they'll announce that on the 26th. They're doing a show tomorrow. That's what Nintendo. That's what they did with this. Like, you know what I mean? That's how they do it now. And you will get more stuff. I think overall, I think it was a good show. I'm pretty pleased as a Switch owner. So the biggest question I have really is, and this is for Craig, is what's it going to take to get a Switch for you? What's it going to take? Honest answer. And you don't have to get one. Obviously, this is hypothetical. If you were to say to your mind, "Or I want to buy one," what do you reckon it's going to take from the point at where we are right now with the Switch? I mean, we're 4 years in, I think.
So I guess it would probably take more for Microsoft to whiff completely and just bring nothing out, which, considering the circumstances, I don't see happening. Because I mean, the Switch looks great. If I was buying another console, I'd definitely get the Switch over the PlayStation, just because it's more different. I'm more likely to play it. But it comes down to time. Do I have time for 2 consoles? Probably not.
No.
So, it's as simple as that, really. Unless Microsoft completely whiffs on everything, I can't see me double dipping and getting a Switch.
What about if Mario Golf is a 98 on Metacritic?
I mean, the thing is, you can, one of the things I learned last gen from buying my PlayStation is it's right having all these great games, but you only have so much time.
Yeah, I know.
So,
You're right. You are the most sensible of all of us, and it's upsetting to me because I just want to play Mario Kart every night, Craig. That's all I want. You said you text me at 2 a.m. I want to play Mario Kart. I'd be there. And you know it. But yeah, I think that's the thing. We haven't done a Nintendo episode, so it's good to talk about Nintendo because we all do love Nintendo in our own ways. Like, every time Craig comes around my house, I'll be honest, the first game he wants to play is Mario Kart 64. He's not interested in anything else I've got. So it's like, let's crack out the Mario Kart. And then obviously we've just had 3D World, which actually looks really good. I'm kind of regretting not buying it. Also, I'm not going to because I'm not going to play it. But it looks good. That Bowser's Fury mode legitimately looks very interesting for 3D Mario.
Yeah,
I know.
play. He's doing 100% of this, and it does does look fun.
And especially as well, so again, someone like you, Craig, that hasn't obviously didn't have a Wii U. Like if you're not going to Switch, you definitely didn't have a Wii U. Like that game is like very good. You know what I mean? Like if Xbox were to fuck it and you were to go into a shop that you were allowed to go into today and you see 4 Mario games, 4 Mario spin-offs, a Zelda, Splatoon, you know, he's fucking hell. You know what I mean? Like there's, if you're a Switch owner, you can't really complain at the moment. I personally don't think as a Switch owner you can complain that there isn't enough to play, because even in the last 6 months, you've probably got more than enough games to never have to buy an Xbox, to never have to buy a PlayStation, to not turn on your PC, you know? And you can play Football Manager on it as well. So
They seem to have like a more consistent flow than, to be fair, Sony or
100%. Like
Microsoft.
you think this year's like Chris has just bought Strikers, right? And I know it's on PS4, but it's, you know, he's got Strikers. You had Mario last week. You had Age of Calamity just before Christmas. You know what I mean? You've had constant updates for all the games.
Yeah, Horizon 2, Dave. That was a big one.
Yeah, that's the one. And you've got all these games that keep coming out for it, and even like little stuff. And you got the SNES Online, you got the 3D All Stars games, all this stuff. I've never understood. Like I remember when we were into the Wii U a lot. Me and Chris, and we started doing the show, and we'd be lucky to get a game every 4 months because no one would put any third-party games on the Wii U. So you'd be sat there and you'd be like, you know, cool, I've got Bayonetta this month. I better make that last because there's no way I'm getting another game until fucking August. You know what I mean? So I think Switch owners are just a little bit spoiled. I'm gonna say it. You're all a bit spoiled. You need to calm down. Just get excited for No More Heroes. But yeah, that's it, I suppose. Is there anything else you want to add to your Nintendo chat, boys?
No, I think we covered everything there, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I said.
I mean, like you said, the Nintendo fans are a weird breed, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's the last long-standing one, right? I know that Sony's been around a long time now, but you know, they all remember the Sega days. You got to think how many Nintendo consoles has there been now? Like 7, 8 generations plus all the handhelds.
Something like that.
They are the most unique, sort of accessible company. I think if you were to show games to people, I think Nintendo is the company that people think of more than anything else. Really, like most people, believe they know Call of Duty, but they also know Mario. They might not know New Super Lucky's Tale or Horizon Zero Dawn or something. You know what I mean? So I think you can't really go wrong with the plumber. But yeah, I mean, as long as Nintendo keeps doing their thing, because I'd be very upset if there was no Nintendo for me to buy games for that I won't play. You know, so
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully next week there'll be even more backlog. Like I said, I'm doing less hours now, so expect a lot more backlog talk from me over the next couple of months. That's it. And as we did last week, is there anything new on the horizon for you both? Like realistically, Craig's probably gonna finish Jedi Fallen Order this week, I'd imagine.
Hopefully, I'd
say so.
Probably play some more tonight, and I've got
because you're
this
weekend
week,
in, right? Or you'll be
some weekend in.
Yeah, so might be a struggle, but at least by then the week after, 100%.
Yeah, I think I might finish the story this week, but then carry on playing, you know, sort of bits more. But yeah, I'd imagine that'll probably be all I play.
Yeah,
this week
so. Unless we can figure out some multiplayer to play, because I've had an urge, but I just don't know what I want to play. That's always my issue.
That sounds like a Dave Bowringer.
Like mate, honestly, I've had days off now. Like now I've got in the new rotor, I've got days off, and I was literally yesterday just sat there looking at all of the 3 consoles. Like, what am I playing? As I was playing Football Manager for 11 hours.
You,
by the way, so
scrolling through Game Pass, staring at it all.
Just like, what do I play? I think I played Destiny for like 10 minutes. It popped like 12 achievements from my like cross save, and then I turned it off again. I was like, cool, nice. Obviously, Pengy, you're going to be playing and finishing Strikers this week, I presume.
I doubt I will finish Strikers, but I will play some Strikers. I really need to play some Little Nightmares 2 because last week I just got it, and I've not played any of it since. Like I said, I haven't really played. Going back to like what playing, I've just been like playing like a couple of matches of Killer Instinct, a couple of rounds of Siege, and that's like it. Not really been playing much this week, so hopefully can play something. So more, and obviously Bravely Default is out on Friday, depending when this goes out. But I expect this will go out before Bravely Default 2 comes out.
This will go out on today. This will go out on Monday. So it's Monday, everyone.
So that would be on Friday. So, but I just put up
Strikers basically, and then Bravely Default turns up.
Yeah, I did just put up the March games thread up on GDM, and March is pretty dreadful until the 26th. There's like nothing of note until the 26th, which is Monster Hunter, Balan World, and
Balan World looks
something else.
terrible as well, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go for that. I'm not even though
I
I'm not.
saw someone put a video up of the demo that they released, and they did some commentary for it, and it looked absolutely awful.
I did warn you
Yeah.
all, didn't I? If you remember, I did
Yeah.
warn you. Yuji Naka hasn't made a good game in a while.
So yeah, so it's going to be sort of like a lot of backlog or stuff that comes to Game Pass and indies or something. I think for quite a while. But this games with updates. Avengers gets his update mid-March. Crash gets an update. So see what happens and stuff like that. And obviously Nintendo wasn't the only thing. You obviously had BlizzCon as well. Excited for Diablo 2.
No one cares. Blizzard sucks.
Not for Diablo 2.
Yeah, and there's Overwatch 2. The story mode
Yeah.
looks kind of fun, but again, like Craig said, it should just be DLC. I don't get it.
I don't understand
It
that
sort
game.
of is and sort of
someone that
isn't at the same time.
Overwatch.
And
I
obviously
don't
there's
understand what they're doing.
there's Call of
Yeah.
Duty Season 2, and Call of Duty
Yeah.
Cold War looks fun, but I ain't spending 50 odd quid on it. I ain't playing Warzone again, putting 200
Yeah.
gigs on my hard drive. So
Yeah, out of what they showed, for me, it was called Diablo 2 does sort of interest me, and it's 35 quid, which I don't think is too.
what?
Well, yeah, but
35 digital.
No, I think they're doing a physical
The thing
version.
is,
I
you can get
expect.
Diablo 3, which you also won't play, Chris, for like half that price.
Yeah, it's a weird one because talking about like Nintendo, like Skyward Sword is just like a HD port, and that's 50 quid, and Diablo 2 is a remaster, and that's 35 quid, which makes it look like a good deal, and I guess in comparison.
Nintendo
to
can
it.
charge
And
what
it's-
they want. If Nintendo charged £100 for their games, people would buy them.
Mm.
And they'd never go on sale.
Yeah. Yeah, it just so that sort of thing. That's the only one that interests me. We got some Siege news as well yesterday, but not much shows that. So
Obviously, now that Chris is
starts.
well into the Siege community, which I look forward to the streams, Chris. I look forward to seeing you stream Siege.
Yeah, Gears starts in March or something. So
Nice. Right, well, we've been going for an hour and a half now, so I think it's time we called it a day. Thank you for watching the show. Obviously, if you like the show, drop a like, drop a subscribe. Catch us on all our social medias apart from Craig because he hides from the world. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.